Good evening, friends. It is another annoyingly warm summer evening, and I have another little horror game for you. Specifically, another liminal space horror. Sorry, I made that sound like it was like a Space Invaders game. Another liminal space horror game. Now, I mean, heck, if you're watching this, we probably already know each other. You know that I've been on a weird horror kicker this year. Specifically, like, liminal space horror games that don't really fit into, like, a standard streaming space, or ones where I feel like the stream would kind of detract from it. So we've done Pools, we've done... Oh, Exit 8. We did, The House Has No Windows. And it's been a really good run. And I've been trying to find titles that do interesting things, or a little bit different. Because ever since the success of Exit 8, the concept of this, like, anomaly spotter, this, like, liminal space horror where you are presented with looping normality until it is flipped on its head and messes you up 8 ways from Sunday, has become something of a subgenre of horror. There's a very, very interesting one where it's this kind of formula, but you're given a pistol that I'll have to talk to you all about at some point. There's also one where you play a streamer by the same person who did... Oh, what was it? Just check my wish list again. The Japanese convenience store horror. What the hell was it called? Alright, well, feel free to refresh my memory in the comments because I am still dealing with a little bit of beef brain. But I came across this and I knew I had to make a video of it. So this is the 10 Bells. The 10 Bells. And it is a liminal space horror. It is a looping, anomalous trap of a horror game set in an English pub. Now, obviously this is an old-timey English pub, but for those of us who've been in the UK, like, if you've been to one, you've been to them all, and most of them still have the same fucking woodwork and design they had even, like, hundreds of years ago. And a lot of the time, that's not actually a good thing, but we'll get to that. My friend asked me what the horror of this game was, and I responded with, well, it's not a Wetherspoons, so who knows? But no, I saw this, and I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's, even a tinge of homesickness, but I really wanted to dive into this. As, I don't know, anyone who's been in a British pub is going to get this. It doesn't matter that the barkeep has an old-timey and that, that all the bar taps haven't been taken over by mainstream breweries pumping out terrible lager. The aesthetic of these places has been pretty consistent for basically hundreds of years. And, I don't know, like, there's a lot of these games that are based in parts of the world that I haven't been to. And I wanted to explore this. Now, again, much like pretty much everything we've done since I became insufferable and finished reading House of Leaves, I'm gonna treat this with as much authenticity and sincerity as the game's gonna give us, right? I'm gonna try and put myself in the space. This isn't a critique of development methods as in other things, and it almost won't be as much of an artistic critique. I'm gonna try and look at this as if I'm there, this kind of continued, almost Navidson Report obsession, which, again, if you've seen the Pools video, you know where I'm coming from. But with this one, I don't know. This feels like I'm facing weird shit on my home turf. And there was no way I wasn't going to record this. So yeah, I don't know how spoopy this is going to be. I don't know how artistic this is going to be. All I saw was that this dropped, back on the 30th? It's being developed and published by a team called Hillfort Games, alongside Acrylic Pixel. Now, Hillfort Games sounds like the second most British game dev I've ever heard of. Second only to Cole Supper, who made Thank Goodness You're Here. And bugger me sideways if this couldn't be more different than Thank Goodness You're Here. So yeah, I got a big old cup of wine, because what I should have done is bought some shitty British lager before doing this, but I didn't plan that far ahead. So yeah, I got box wine, I have a tinge of courage. And I have your... Well, I don't want to say your company, because technically I'm coming to you from the past. It's not like with a stream where I can lean on you all for courage. I've got to fucking do this myself. Anyway, 2 bells! 10 bells, so 2 bells times 5. 10. You know what I mean. Hillfort Games and Acrylic Pixel presents Not a Weatherspoons, a mystical creature unknown in the... Actually, I've not been back to the UK since before the plague, so I don't know how it is. I got to speak to the lovely gentleman behind Dread Delusion at PAX, and we talked about like the state of breweries in Brighton. Pubs in Brighton, which apparently is pretty good. Oh, sorry. Funeral service. Venue, the 10 Bells. Public house. That's where the term pub comes from. We implore you to explore the premises for any anomalies. That's a weird thing to put on a funeral service, but okay. If all is in order, please proceed to the private room. Should you encounter an anomaly, we kindly request you return back to progress. We look forward to honouring the life of our dear friend, taken from us all too soon. Okay, let's get the lay of the land first. Alright. Ladies and gents. Unfortunately, I don't believe that this era of British piss-uppery was quite ready for gender-neutral bathrooms. Although, I would like to remind you all that one of the world's leading... Ooh, 10 bells. One of the world's leading gender-neutral bathrooms is, in fact, Thatcher's grave. So, you know, we've kind of been doing it. Oh, these little... Okay, again. I know this isn't a modern pub, and... Alright, mate. It's just the little beer mats are giving me flashbacks. Okay. So, first things first. Check the art. Like, if you've not been to the UK, it is not uncommon to go to a pub and encounter pieces of art that, like, predate the Americas. Back in Horsham, one of my locals was it the Black Horse? I think it was the Black Horse. Oh god, I got real beef brain tonight, but alright. Let's see what we've got on tap. We've got a pale, an ale, a Hillfort, and that is it. Got some Jack behind the bar, a spiced rum of one-legged pirate. Oh, I like that. Sorry, I'm a real sucker for when playing games like this of going through all the assets. He has the dead-eyed stare of a man who's seen the... Sorry, I had to take a screenshot of that. It's him, and then in the background is the photo of him, like a scene from feckin' Hot Fuzz. I was going to joke and say that he has the dead eyes of a man who's had to see the depths and depravities of... okay, I was going to say the depths and depravities of British pissheads. How's that for accurate detail? The one wobbly-ass feckin' table with 3 beer coasters jammed underneath it. Love it. Nondescript books. Okay. That's probably where the rare artifacts were. Sorry, the thing I was saying about the Black Horse is that one of the displays in the Black Horse had a series of hand-carved pipes, and some of those pipes are older than America, and that's just a place I used to drink. We're not talking about, like, you know, a historical site or something like that. So, alright, we'll start getting the lay of the land. Oh man, something tells me that if the goal is essentially to do 10 loops, right, these beer coasters are going to be my undoing. Mrs. Potts cold handle sad iron. Advantages. Cold detachable walnut handle. Aligned with a cooling continent. Heat quicker than other irons. Retain high heat longer. Requires no cloth or hold. Oh, and it's cheap. Alright. There's bell number 1. You'll notice that I'm using pub stories and an attention to assets and detail at this point as a way to avoid the nonsense of it all. Okay, alright, so we've got both sides of the bar. Although, interestingly, as a little fact, these striped balls are... there. I was about to say something and then realised I don't know if what I was about to say was a fact or if I've been out of the UK so long that like my brain has just turned to a gooey mush. I was going to say that the striped balls are more of a common thing in the US, right? In the UK it's usually red and yellow rather than like numbered striped pool balls. Or snooker, which again is a very specific colour setup. And then I realised that this is probably one of those like table facts that actually the striped ball's the traditional version and it's just English pubs got lazy. If you know that, I mean, there's a whole comment section of doobly-doos where you can give me fun pub facts. Got some cute little photos. It's not too shabby. Sad lass is sad. Again, not uncommon in a British pub. See, the thing is, I've encountered a few of these games that have come out since Exit 8, where the goal is, like, examination of, like, the environment and the search for anomalies. And there's the cellar. Did we go down there? No. Someone came up with a really good term for those titles, and I hate that now I've actually started making this video. Oh, that's haunting. The term has completely dropped out of my head. Because it's interesting that it's essentially like an articulation on the Spot the Difference format that's kind of been quietly succeeding for years. I mean, if you're unaware that, like, Spot the Difference title's been very popular outside of people who are considered quote-unquote gamers. And those titles have been doing really well for years. And what's fascinating about this whole setup, or this micro-genre of horror, is how it's sprung from that. And it's about making you pay attention to an environment and immersing yourself into it. And then using that to shit you up, rather than using the Spot the Difference method to make you feel smart and clever. Now, okay, I said I was going to embrace with the title and not deconstruct it. We are 10 minutes in, and I have done exactly the opposite, so go me. But I did finish a story about the pub near me in Horsham, so... Alright. So that's one loop down. If I have to get my notepad out and start detailing elements, it will be a heckin' good day. Explore you explore. No face there. Alright, let's do this. Ah, okay, so this is kind of cute. That's going to let us know how many times we've been through here. Alright. Having a look round, having a look round. Got Pint on there. Pint on there. The usual stuff. Sorry, it's my ability to tell stories and discuss with you immediately drops out of my head because now my little Spot the Difference brain is going. Have you seen the difference that lies between these two pints? I don't suppose you have you? You know, Sean Bean used to drink here before you were too cool. Back in my day, I knew as a lad he was sheeny and beanie, and back then, waif of a lad, shite at cricket. Tell me, I could have been him. I could have been murdered repeatedly in several movies. Okay, and for those of you who have your Will Overguard bingo cards, that is 15 minutes in, and I'm already using humour as a coping mechanism. We've got parcels, we've got bicycles, and we've got cold sad It's cold sad iron. Say sad handles. Sad handles, obviously being my stripper name. I'm sorry. I am immediately confronted by the fact that I don't know many of the rules of pool. I've always been chronically bad at it, and honestly, the only times I've ever won at pool is where the other person has gotten so drunk that they've become incapable of playing. Kind of like how I'm really good at drunk chess, because I'm very good at drinking. Well, at least I was. I shouldn't claim to be good at drinking now, because I have given up competitive drinking. I kind of sort of had to. Hey, so that's bad. Here's an idea. Let's not go into the private room now that we've seen the bloody hand. Let's go back the way we came. I've realised with my current setup I can't see... Oh! A hairbrush. One must look presentable to keep up appearances. That's new. It's almost as if a bloody handprint under the bar is uncommon in Britain. Very common in British pub toilets, but not in the bar. I'm not spooked, you're spooked. Okay. Okay. We're in the pub. We're in the pub. Now, one thing I've always... Was that there before? Maybe. I don't know. Well, that's fucking nasty, and it was absolutely not there before. I want to explore a little bit around, but we're definitely going back. But one thing I wanted to say is, like, okay, so American dive bars are a very different kind of intimidating than British pubs. Now, obviously, depending on, you know, you and yourself and the region you're in, obviously, American bars have very, very different connotations as for how an area can be, right? But the thing I've always found about British pubs is that there is this 15-20 minute timer between walking in and finding out whether or not the place is going to be dodgy or whether or not the place is going to be a little bit risky, because you can't tell, right? You know, aside from it's 2 bells, ding ding, I'll get a photo of that for the pirates. After we're done with this game, I can't wait to tell them whether or not I got the piss scared out of me to get them that screenshot. But no, so in British pubs, there's this quiet, I don't even want to call it intimidation. You don't know when you walk into a pub if it is safe or dodgy as. And even if it's dodgy as, whether you're going to be okay there. Now, obviously, someone looking like I do is going to have a very different, you know, time than a lot of other people. So I don't want to speak as if my experience is universal, but... Ooh, what's this? Mysterious sightings at the 10 Bells. Strange accounts have surfaced from the 10 Bells public house patrons claiming to have seen a ghostly lady clad in white who silently disturbs the company before vanishing without a trace. Pint glass was seen to move its own accord, and many whisper of a connection to the ill-omened history that haunts these very streets. An Inspector Abilene is said to be looking into the matter. Alright. And also a hairbrush. Also, notice how the picture is the picture slowly coming together? Or is that one of the anomalies? I guess we'll find out. 3 bells! But no, so there's this thing, there's this vibe whenever you walk into a British pub. And this is encapsulating that so well. You don't know if the bartender's a piece of shit. Oh, I shouldn't say bartender. You don't know if the landlord's a jerk. or if he's cool, or I don't know. You don't know if the patrons are secretly a bunch of awful individuals, or if they're just fine locals. Like, you don't know if you've walked into a place where, by naming the wrong football team when someone asks, "Oi, who do you support?" if that's going to be the thing that gets you your fucking teeth kicked in. You're right, mate. Oh, I can smell you. Sorry. I need to stop doing the internal monologue of the bartender. Well, the landlord, sorry. This is the problem. I've been living out in the US so long. For those of you who are in the US, difference being, so a landlord predominantly also owns and lives on the premises. Like, he would be predominantly the person there day in, day out. Maybe with a little bit of help. And, back in the day, when, pubs and inns were kind of indistinguishable, he'd also be the person, like, sorting it out if you wanted a room or something. Oh, I can feel it. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong. Or am I being paranoid? Anyway, I just wanted to add that, like, this encapsulates walking into a pub at, like, 3 o'clock on a Wednesday and not knowing if you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you or if you're gonna have, like, the best night. And here's the thing, you can't tell. Back in the day, me and my drama friends used to drink in a proper old man pub. The kind of place you would have looked at and been like, nah, I don't know if we want a bunch of, loud musical theatre queers running around here. But the thing was, the landlord feckin' loved musical theatres, and the place was dead as a doornail from about like 6, 7 o'clock onwards. So 20 of us would roll up there, get shithoused because we were all like barely 20 and absolute lightweights, spend loads of money and then bugger off. And we were always lovely and polite. Overly so, because, that's just how it be. Usually resulting in, like, 2 people crying, 5 people making out, and only 1 person vomiting, and always either outside or in the toilet. None of our lot ever vomited where they weren't supposed to. Shout out to Chichester College. Also, if I do get my... I'm going to risk it. If I get my way, I have a bunch of tapes from back in the day, so you may get to actually see Tiny Will. Okay. Rouge to cover the bruises. That seems bad. Okay. We're up to 4 bells. I was definitely being paranoid. Okay. Okay. I feel like those coloured towels are something I need to pay attention to. I feel like if anything's going to trip me up, it's going to be towels. Towels and beer coasters. The bevies and the pints are all where they're supposed to be. Sorry, having played all of Thank Goodness You're Here, pay close attention to the pint glasses. Anyway, sorry, I'm not just trying to tell you old pub stories or traumatise those of you that have either grown up or still live in the UK, because you all have a pub story. If you have lived in the UK, for any amount of time, you have a pub story. And I'm not trying to bully you all into leaving comments, but if you want to share your pub story, this is the time to do it. Or just come tell me on stream. Like, I'll probably be able to discuss them a little better on stream because I won't be clenching my buttocks furiously. I also cannot wait for the moment where you all spot an anomaly before me, and then I get loads of comments also saying like, "Whoa, Will, I can't believe you didn't notice that chair was upside down." So silly, Will. Alright. Pines all seem the same over here. But again, like, I cannot state how you can't tell which British pubs are going to be dodgy and which ones aren't. Because when I lived in Mile End, we had a pub across the road, and... Excuse me, mate. You're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there. There's only supposed to be one of you. No, I'm supposed to go back this way, mate. No. Homie, homie. Homie. You're being weird. No. I don't have a drop kick button. Well, I'm not going that way, because I know it's wrong. Try and trick me. Jump me. You mustachioed, gangly bad word. Okay, so this shrine is steadily getting more and more suspect. Hate that. Oh, okay. So left page. Thursday, 3rd of May, 1880. Charlie, through a cherished patron, has become enamoured with my dear wife of late. This affection has grown most wearisome. Fucking Charlie. Friday, 10th of May, 1888. She cannot subject me to this. The shame of it is intolerable. Wow, that's what I'm saying. Sorry. Anyway, TLDR on the last story. The pub across the road from me when I was living in Mile End was one of the dodgiest pubs I've ever been to. They were always lovely to me. Now, there's a load of things I can't tell you about that place in any recordable format. But suffice it to say, it was not a place of lawful behaviour. However, like, that place gave me free food. There was one time where I ended up just being broke, and they were like, don't worry about it, mate. Just have a pint on us. You know, I'm not a football person, but I did go there for one of the World Cups, I believe. And they had, like, a full spread, like a full... help yourself kind of buffet set up, and it was just there for everyone who was about. Now again, I can't speak to everybody's experiences, but just to look at that place from the outside, you would have expected to get glassed in like 30 seconds in there. Huh. No, I'm standing on your table. Tappity-ta, tappity-ta, ra-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, he has exactly the same amount of interest and care as you would expect from a British bartender, especially one in and around London. Judy, mate. Okay. The bevies are right. The pint glass is there. He's going to trip me up with these fucking coasters. I know it. Oh god, or we're going to get like some In the Mouth of Madness style paintings. If you haven't heard of it, In the Mouth of Madness is an incredible horror film. All practical effects, and one of... what's his name? Sam Neill, Mr. Jurassic Park / Event Horizon's most incredible films. It's based on the premise of like a not Stephen King horror writer writing his last book. And Sam Neill plays the publisher's agent who's been sent to go and find him. And yeah, it goes places. Oh, that's a bell. That's a bell in the fire. Homie, no. Fuck this, I'm going to Nando's. Fuck your shit, I'm going to Nando's. Nando's isn't haunted. Nando's isn't haunted. Yeah, okay. Layers of Fear may not be a good horror game, but I do think about it a lot still, and this is doing a good version of Layers of Fear's, like, revealing of the interpretive portrait. Okay, so what have we got here? Lady Chatterley's Lover, oh, by D.H. Lawrence. Oh, that's right, good, that book, I've heard. I haven't actually read it, I'm sorry. So, friends, how was Will's newest haunted video? Did he look at the spooky implications of being in a British pub? No, he just talked a bunch of shit and then made terrible jokes. Alright. Okay, so one thing I do want to comment on. Like, we're here, we're in the space. It may still trip me up yet. But one thing that I have noticed is that this is less of a like SCP type anomaly like with Exit 8. I don't feel like we're trapped in an Infiniloop here. This feels like a patron coming back day in, day out. This guy here, he is exhausted, he is tired, he is weary. If his wife even still lives here, they are not on good terms. Like a miserable version of Faulty Towers. And he'll exchange you a word, maybe two. He'll serve you a pint if you ask. But you could sit at that bar night in, night out, and you'll never get more than a, there you go. That'd be £3 please, from him. Whatever weird and bizarre things are here, he either doesn't know or doesn't care. It reminds me of parts of Uzumaki, where it feels like the locals have just started to embrace the horrifying things around them, you know? Here's where I try and remember if there were ashtrays on the table. Like, I guess the reason why this reminds me of In the Mouth of Madness is, you know, Sam Neill's character going into the same place multiple times throughout the film and it getting progressively weirder. And the people there either ignoring it, not acknowledging it. Like, the theme of In the Mouth of Madness is that the difference between sanity and insanity is a majority rule, right? If more people than you were insane, then surely they would become the sane ones, and you would be the crazy person, right? This, I don't know. I don't know how this person fits in. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if it's supposed to be the same day, like looping ad infinitum, one would summarize that, I don't know, perhaps it's someone who regularly works the bar and just knew the deceased. I don't know. Meanwhile, over here we have Patterson's Impronounceable Poster. Is that Judith in London? Eulith in London? Distillers of the only Morning Brew and Royal Garden brand Scotch whiskies. Dews of Silvermore, Rossmore, and Irish whiskies. Oh, fine blends of specialty. Oh. Reach the... now, is that Leaf office or Lath office? Either way, I am going to be wrong. But the London office is over on Commercial Street, so we can go say hi, howdy. Free samples and carriage paid. Friends. Longshipians. Homies. Do you know how badly we could fuck up a bunch of whiskey free samples? Because I do. And it's very well. Okay, I haven't seen anything out of place. If it is, it's the ashtrays on the two tables over that way. Hopefully I haven't biffed it. Okay, so we have another thing. Disappeared. Miss Clara Hughes of the 10 Bells Public House. Age 22, build medium, complexion fair, eyes colour brown, hair dark brown, height 5'4", weight 9 stone and 4 pounds, clothes black gown with white apron. Good lady, best character. She was last seen leaving the Ten Bells pub, Whitechapel, on Saturday, 5th of May. All right, so we're in London proper. Okay. She left on Saturday 10 a.m. to buy tea and cleaning supplies. Any information concerning the lady should be communicated to Henry Moore, Superintendent of Police, Whitechapel. Okay. Alright, well I didn't feck up, so I'll take that. I feel like when we played Exit 8, I talked so much about being trapped. Like, feeling like something had us. Whether it was an anomaly, you know, a loop in space and time, whether it was a malicious something. This doesn't feel like that, and I can't quite put my finger on what it feels like yet. It's not a haunted house, but I don't know. This is the kind of place where if you were watching it in a movie, you would be yelling at the characters, just get out. You know, why aren't you screaming in the face of these people? But when you encounter these spaces in reality, it's not like the back rooms. It's not banality turned horrifying. It's the confrontation of normality when you know something is wrong and you can't prove it. Now, if another creepy ghost lady climbs out from, you know, underneath the bloody fireplace, I'm going to have a freaking bad time. But, like, if we just do 3 more loops, and this is it, right? There's nothing else. I will still be left with the sense that this place is wrong. This place is wrong. Ah. Wait, no, hang on. No. Double guessing myself here. You know it's doing a good job when I feel the need to check behind me when I hear something. See, great horror is all about pacing, right? And the thing about these games is that, like, the random element of it, you can't guess the pacing. Look, I love my Resident Evils. You know this. Give me the chance. I will talk your ear off about the Resident Evil franchise. I played almost every, and I mean every, Resident Evil game. I'm currently playing through Resident Evil The Village, which I believe is 8. Yes, 7 is the spooky house, 8 is The Village. And it's fun, you know. It's a campy action trope. And Lady Dimitrescu. But it's an interesting one because if you understand the construction of Resident Evil games, you don't have to be a game dev, you don't have to know how games are made, but if you understand how Resident Evil paces its stuff, especially if you played both 4 and 4 Remake, then it starts to feel, I don't know, fun, right? You're given the right weapon at the right time, you're challenged in ways where you have the resources and the tools to make it out, right? No, fuck you! Fucking piss myself there. That was the look of real fear. That. God darn it. When you realise you're doing something stupid only after you've been rumbled. Oh, look, there's a crying woman in a back room. Oh, I can't quite open this. Well, there's a bell on ground. I better put my face right up to the keyhole. Anyway, all I was saying was that like Resident Evil 8 is an exceptional game. It is fun. It is bizarre. It's intriguing. But it's not surprising. Does that make a weird sense? Everything about that game, in terms of its structure, makes a heap of sense. Oh, okay. So we don't have any new things there. She's now covered in blood. Hate that. But we do have a new thing over here. My dearest Clara, I wish to take you away this very night. I cannot bear it any longer. Yours ever faithfully, C. And you know what C stands for? Now, you should have thought C is for cookie. But if you thought see you next Tuesday, well, you're in good company. Anyway, sorry, the point I was making with the Resident Evil 8 discussion was just, with these games, because of the baked-in randomness of it, you can't guess it by pacing, right? In fact, the very act of playing this game is to observe it with, like, laser focus. God darn it, and I'm doing the thing again where I'm deconstructing it, where I said I wasn't going to deconstruct it from a game's point. But I guess I made my feelings pretty succinct. This feels like a place I keep going back to drink at because it's always quiet, but for no other reason. Right? Landlord doesn't like anybody. Service is mid, but like, this is Whitechapel, and you can always get a seat here. Like, if you've... Okay, for any of you who've lived in places like LA and New York, or, you know, London and the equivalent, getting a place to actually sit and have a pint on Friday night is something incredible. Right? That is not a small feat by any means. Oh, fucking hell. Mate. Bathroom's fucked. No, look at me. Bathroom's fucked. I saw a lass come out of ceiling. Should have them fucking checked. Oh, in a coffin shape too. Love that for us. I don't know, there's something about his dead-eyedness. There's a cold horror to it. He's either tormented by the very things he sees day in, day out, or his mind has already broken. He's already given up on trying to understand it. His sanity's already snapped. The routine is all he has left. I think it was Pratchett who put forward the idea of like the ice-cold madness. Like someone for whomst everything has shattered. And while they may be calm and collected, there is no sanity behind the eyes. At least that's how it feels, you know. Okay, what have we got here? My dearest Charlotte, the shame of my marriage to Arthur. Oh, my dearest Charlie. Always tell Charlie before you go off somewhere. British ads, you're so weird. My dearest Charlie, the shame of my marriage to Arthur weighs heavily upon me, for my heart belongs solely to you. Each moment without you is torment, as I yearn for the love we must conceal. How cruel it is, this fate that keeps us apart when my soul is irrevocably yours. Yours in secret and in love. Clara. Okay, so C didn't stand for see you next Tuesday. It stood for Charlie. Now we're all learning something. And Clara is now gone from the picture. Which means she's probably loose in the pub. You ever feel like the last bell is going to be the hardest? No, my pissing luck. It'll be this time where it's just like, nope, nothing's wrong. Or there's like one beer cozy out of place. Like, he doesn't see us. And okay, look, it would be easy to deconstruct this from a games industry standpoint, from an animation standpoint, but if we're just looking at the text, if we're just living in the moment, he doesn't see us. You feel me? If we asked him for a pint or a whiskey or a gin and tonic, so, you know, some pork scratchings and a, I don't know, disappointing sambuca. Don't get sambuca, it's awful. Like, he would serve you. He would give you correct change back. If you asked him anything beyond that, it would be, eh? Nah. It's alright. You'd get single noise. And that is it. Part of me kind of hopes that I'm going to biff this. Because I'm not ready to be done with this. On the flip side, friends, if you've enjoyed how far we've gotten so far, like, currently at the time of recording, 10 Bells only has 30 positive reviews on Steam. So, like, this is not a super smash hit Markiplier special. So, if we do end up clearing on this loop, like, please, please, please consider buying a copy for yourself. Leave him a review. Like, from what I can tell, this is a quasi self-published game. And everybody can use a little bit of help. No, this can't be it. Even the clock is the right. Alright. Either I just biffed it, or we just cleared it. I fucking hate that. Arthur Hughes, Mrs. Clara Hughes, the crossed out happy couple of the 10 Bells public house. Okay, so she was... Alright, she was the landlord's missus. This is going to be bad, isn't it? Alright. Cheers all. We just gotta press on. She's gonna shit me up, I know it. George, no, she's gonna shit me up. But, fuck me. Oh, this is the pub gossip, right? Did he do it? Beat her to death with the hand, with the bell. Beat her 10 times. Two bells. Sorry. Like, we know we shouldn't go that way. We can't leave this way. Oh, bugger me. actually taking us upstairs to the private room. Vin Hill. Hillfort Games. Oh, here we go. This is the team. So, honestly, I think that was really feckin' good. Let's go through the people who worked on this, and then we can decide if we want to do a little bit more, if we want to save things for all of your lovely selves, if you want to pick up a copy of this and support it. So yeah, so first up, Vin Hill of Hillfort Games. Makes sense. Game design, art and engineering. Originally from the UK, Vin broke into the games industry in 2014 as a concept artist in a Japanese game studio. I mean, that's actually a very big deal. He climbed the AAA ranks working in the US and Canada before moving to indie development to found Hillfort Games, where he's working on an adventure game called Long Gone in the United States. Long Gone, I believe that's the sniper one. Hang on, let me see if alt-tabbing... Oh, no, I was thinking of... I was thinking of a different one, but Long Gone does look very good. Sorry, I'm just having a look at it now, and it looks like kind of a mix between The Last Stand... I don't want to say The Last of Us. God, that's such a terrible comparison, but it looks very, very good. So, whether you pick up a copy of 10 Bells on Steam or not, please, please, please give Long Gone a check, because it looks very good. I mean, I literally just saw it there for the first time, but it's giving me the good vibes. Next up we have Chris Jarvis of Acrylic Pixel. Chris is a UK-based indie game developer and the co-creator of 10 Bells. Chris is a dad that loves Earl Grey tea. Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. It's just anytime anyone mentions Earl Grey tea, I think of the fact that Jean-Luc Picard of the Enterprise has tea Earl Grey hot, which is not an instruction but a macro, and the fact that you could actually reprogram his macro as anything else. Think about that a lot. Next up, Lamont Gilkey, and apologies if I did mispronounce that. Originally from the USA, Lamont is now based in Japan, where he's worked as an environment artist for over 20 years. That's badass. From AAA to indie, including EA, Ubisoft, and Square Enix, he also likes cookies. Like, a lot. And then we have Justin Phillips. From the city of Oaks, on the east coast of the United States of America, Justin is an artist and animator specializing in 3D real-time graphics. He's been working in both indie and serious games for 10 years now. Now, does he mean AAA, or the field of serious games, which is a whole thing? But maybe we'll get to ask Justin at some point. He is a loving cat stepdad, but not a father. As in a cat father, sorry, that sounded very snarky. Didn't mean that. Okay, we have Matthew Parisi of Studio Chimp, an industry award-nominated engineer and producer who works alongside Grammy Award-winning mixing and mastering engineers, as well as multi-platinum selling producers and artists. And last but by no means least, us. Thank you for playing. But can you escape the 10 Bells? Special thanks to Lauren Moss for marketing, Richard Hill, Alice Cotton, Late Nights and Early Mornings, Alexander Swolinski and Sam Webster, and the Hillfort community, their passion and patience. Ooh, okay. Arthur is invited to joining him, bidding farewell to his dear wife Clara Hughes, a gentle soul without malice. May she find a way out of darkness and into the light. The camera has been taken from me. I am not taking a drink until we are through this cutscene. Wait, so the person we were seeing on the other side of the bar was his murdered wife. else who worked there. I must find a way to escape from this hell. Oh, we're not done! Oh, we're not done! We're not done. Ooh. It's a beard scratcher. Forever in my heart, Charles. Okay. So slime books, the hatch, a glimpse, the mouth of hell, stains of sorrow, 10 bells, and whatever that says. Okay, now, despite seeming like the bar list from The World's End, there's more to this. There's more to this. Okay. Okay, let's see what we're at. There's one more. Oh, sorry. My apologies. I keep forgetting that we're not live. It's also why I'm surprised no one's jump scaring me with alerts and whatnot. Okay. So there are a lot... Escape awaits. There are a lot of anomalies to be found. If I was going to structure this myself, I would make it so that discovery of the anomalies and successful loops would be the things needed to come together to help Clara's soul escape. Again, I don't feel like we are trapped here. Does that make a weird sense? Clara is trapped here. The landlord is locked in this, like, eternal cold madness. I feel like we can step away at any time, whoever we are in this situation. Now, that final cutscene did imply that we ourselves may very well be Clara, or Clara's spirit, or something of that equivalent, which is kind of fascinating. So I tell you what, friends, I'm going to do 2 or 3 more loops, because there's more I want to explore and more I want to talk about. But I don't think that we will be doing the full end of this. And here's the reason why. I want you to. Or I want you to share this with people. There's something really good here. And it was the thing that struck me with Exit 8, is Exit 8's a lot scarier. Because Exit 8 was like jumping into a pool and finding out it's a lot deeper than you think. Exit 8 is like stepping off a train and there being no world beyond that platform, right? It was a normal situation immediately turned on its head. It immediately felt claustrophobic and threatening, and whether it was organic or whether it was sentient and villainous was never confirmed. This is different. This is a mystery. This is a puzzle. This isn't a tale of like an agent trapped in an impossible place. This is a story of a horrible thing that happened to a person and the consequences of it. And again, whether we are Clara or whether we are just an observer, an agent of change, that one person that always comes back to the pub, it almost doesn't matter. We're not Ethan Winters. We're not a hero protag. And this isn't about us. Does that make sense? You know, we found these objects and these items. We understand Clara's unhappiness and, you know, seeking something that resembles an escape. 10 bells. I mean, who'd be unhappy stuck in a British pub every day for eternity? I joke, but I literally want to go get a gin and tonic right now. Ah, fucking mustache. A mustache, a mustache. Got to have a mustache. The other thing I do want to note is how, with these particular titles, the reason why I always want to dive into them and not critique them from a technical standpoint is that there's a level of chaos to how smooth or how brutal these runs go. Like, you'll notice that we've been pretty observant. This game hasn't tried to trip us up directly, right? But in there lies kind of like the spooky nonsense of it. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I've got to say, this pub is modelled gorgeously. Like, there are like 4 different pubs I've been to in the UK, which I keep confusing this for, you know what I mean? Like, I can smell this place. And that's no mean feat. Nothing new added. But I did do a loop there, okay. So yeah, friends, I'll be bringing this to a close in just a second. I don't know. Huh. It's just called the bell. More like the bell end! Excuse me, sir. See, I came in and I said more like the bell end, and I can't help but notice you didn't find that incredibly hilarious. I'm going to have a bit more of a look around, but that is absolutely wrong. I kind of want this guy to just be replaced with all the memes that people have made of that wonderful piece of art. But yeah, so it's like, I can't compare this to Exit 8 directly, because this game, you could play it and it could be nefariously difficult, right? Or you might also get a run like mine where we only encounter anomalies that are so pronounced as to be easily identifiable, right? It's the challenge of this. And, I mean, as horror and stuff goes, I respect it. Because you have to trust the user to engage, right? Oh, God, there I am. There I go again. Games industry splaining away this game. Ugh. Oh, I tell you what, next time... Actually, I was going to say, next time we do this, what I'll do is I'll get some spirits and I'll just do a shot every time I'm being a games industry bellend. And then I realise that down that path lies liver destruction. No, I was wrong! Oh, I fecked up! Okay, friends. So I'm going to bring this to a close now. I haven't decided if I will do a follow-up video, or if there's something that I'm just going to finish on my downtime. But there is a mystery here left unsolved. If all you have seen is this video, that means there is a lot more to this. And I really, 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 really hope that you'll, I don't know, get stuck in with it. That you'll bring the thunder. I really do. It's hard to be an indie game team right now. And while I appreciate that we have this new wave of this kind of style of experimental horror, know, something like this, there's no guarantee it's going to do good. So, like, buy a copy, tell your homies, tell your friends, tell somebody down the pub. Look the barkeep in the eye and just say, the 10 bells. Because, you know, even if it doesn't do anything, you might start a story that ends up leading to a game like this. That's 100% normal. Okay, friends. Alright, so this is me done. I am fascinated, I'm intrigued, and I wish to know more. But I don't wish to spoil it for you. So, okay. To the team at Hillfort Games, if you see this, cheers to you. I wish you a gajillion sales from a, frankly, incredibly gorgeous game. To all of you at the Longship, I've given you enough prompts to pop nonsense down the doobly-doos. Tell me tales, tell me stories. And yeah, by this time tomorrow, okay, this time tomorrow will be 1 o'clock in the morning, but on a Tuesday. But we will have played I Am Your Beast, so I'm looking forward to that one. Bloody marvellous. Sorry, friends, I guess there's a part of me that also would just be kind of content to just sit here in the pub for a bit. Do you want me to get you a jar in? Gin and tonic, maybe? Glass of the house white? It's been so bloody warm over here that I think I'm just enjoying the cool. Alright, friends. Whatever you do, have a lovely rest of your evening. Or day, or what have you. To be continued. Totally biffed the ending. Terrible at editing these videos. See you on the flip side. No, that doesn't work. Barkeep! Another round. There we go, that's pretty good.